right, and we're back. Week 1 results in the books. Let's first talk about this week about the Eliminator picks. As you guys know, everybody in the Fantasy League is enjoying the Eliminator Challenge, as well as some additional people who aren't in the league. So let's go over some of those picks and some of the highlights of this week's games. First up for losing this week in the Eliminator Challenge is Robert and Brandon Peterson. Now, Brandon, what are you doing picking the Rams? You're a 49ers fan. You should know that they were actually going to be decent. But seriously, the Rams were pretty upset about the loss.
Number 99 has been disqualified. Aaron Donald ejected, and there's your night for the Rams.
The next victim to fall in the Eliminator Challenge is the person who picked the Falcons to win. Christina, you are unfortunately out. It was a close one, though, I will give you. Most of the games this week were pretty spectacular. Had some awesome highlights from this game, too.
Here's Woodson, throwing short to Charles Sims out of the backfield. Nice move by Sims, spinning, he goes in! Touchdown!
Next up, Gerald and Kayla unfortunately picked the Colts at home to win, but they lost in the final seconds as the Lions kick a field goal for the win.
This a 43-yard attempt. They missed the extra point from the left hash. Ball is placed down, and Prater's kick from 43 yards out is good.
And finally, we wrap up with Darren, unfortunately out of the Eliminator due to Jack Del Rio being the bravest coach I've ever met, going for 2 on the road when he could have tied to go into overtime. Just watch. This is too good.
Giving up the extra point tie. Going for 2. Carr for Crabtree. He has it. He held on to it.
Now, I know that the Cowboys weren't picked as an eliminator by anybody, but I have to rub it in, of course, because the Cowboys, in spectacular fashion, lose this week because one of their receivers just simply doesn't know how to go out of bounds.
Underneath. Go, run out of bounds! Williams has got to get out of bounds, and he doesn't.
He makes a mistake, Joe. He had a chance as soon as he caught it. He could have gotten out.
1. Game over. Giants win.
All right, let's get into the fantasy matchups. First off, we had Gerald against Burrows, and Burrows won. But more importantly, Gerald's first-round pick, Gronkowski, you know, every year it's the same thing with his first-round pick. Sorry, Gerald. Happens every year, man. We also have Robert up against Kelly this week. Robert won very mightily, and that made me very happy being a Packers fan. Gotta love that cheese.
Enjoy cheese, marvelous cheese, wonderful cheese, glorious cheese.
The next matchup was my dad against my sister, and just like last year, his winning streak continues. I don't know how he does it, but he keeps winning, folks. But more importantly, Nikki, change your name. You still have your team from last year. It's called Odell She Didn't. You don't even have Odell Beckham on your team.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hi.
Seriously, change your name. In the most exciting match this week, I beat my mother-in-law. Guys, I actually think I can make it to the playoffs this year and the Super Bowl. I definitely think there's a chance.
What are my chances?
Not good.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Maybe there's not a chance, but whatever. Next up, we have the 2 brothers going against each other, Brandon and Jordan. Now, guess what, Jordan? You're going to have to babysit Sawyer. That's what I remember. You guys, guess you even remember my last week's video? Anyways, Brandon destroyed his brother.
Which was my way?
Pick up one of those rocks. Get behind the boulder. In a few minutes, the man in black will come running around the bend. The minute his head is in view, hit it with the rock!
My way is not a sportsman.
Finally, the highest scoring point this week goes to Darren, who destroyed my wife. She didn't even have a chance. It's almost sad, guys. She was destroyed.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Better luck next time, babe. So to wrap things up this week, all of the girls lost in the league, including Jordan and Gerald. So guess what, guys?
You play ball like a girl!
All right, let's talk about this week's matchups. This week, I have myself going against my podcast mate, Gerald. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you so bad. Next up, we have my mother-in-law going against Jordan, Christina against Jordan. Now, both of them are 0-1, so one of them will win a game here, or maybe they'll both tie and both lose. Who knows? Next up, we have my dad going against my wife. Hopefully, she doesn't get worked like she got worked this week. But good news is, his players are still on suspension. Yeah, that's right. No Brady, no Le'Veon Bell still. You might lose, Dad. She's pretty angry. Now, Darren last year didn't do so well, but this week he's up against Kelly, and he had the most points last week. Not by a little, by like a lot. So good luck, Kelly, but I think you might actually pull this off. Then we have the Brandon Bowl. Who will be determined to be the greatest Brandon of them all? With Brandon Burrows up against Peterson. Let's see how this goes, folks. I have my money on Brandon. You know which one I'm talking about. Yeah, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. And finally, we have my brother-in-law going against my sister, Robert against Nikki. Now, if Nikki doesn't change her name, I'm seriously going to hope that she loses every single game here on out. Seriously, Nikki, change your name. And that wraps up week 1, everybody. I know I had a good time. Hopefully everyone else did. Anyways, make sure to get your player picks in for the waiver wire. They clear on Wednesday night, and set your lineup for Thursday. We do have a Thursday night game this week. Jets against the Bills. Jets. Jets. Robert, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, till next time, everyone, stay undefeated.